We are live for another week, another edition of the AEW Dynamite pre-show. It's a great day to be an AEW fan. It's been a great time to be an AEW fan, but especially because we're headed into the pay-per-view. We're headed into our dynasty. And I think me and Marcus are here to spout some business, maybe. I think that's why I brought you on here, because I knew you were the man. I knew you were the guy to join me on this team. So Marcus, tell the people how you're doing.
Well, folks, I'm doing great. It's been a nice little Wednesday on April 2nd. It's my brother's birthday today. He turned 13. He's taller than me, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, we going home to Dynasty. On Sunday, we taking that back. We kicking back the Dynasty era. The Owens going to be announced today. We're going to see who going to be in it. Who going to go to All In, Texas. Man, I'm so locked in.
I'm so ready to go. It's a very exciting night. There's a lot of stuff we got to get into, and you guys, of course, lead the way in the chat. Make sure to send in any questions, any takes that you want us to react to, anything, and we will get to them. We have super chats turned on. If you are feeling so generous, we have one in the can we'll get to first up. And make sure to leave a like on the stream if you haven't already. It helps out quite a bit. So first off, we have to talk about it. Johnny Burney with a $2 super chat. We very much appreciate you, Johnny. Who's hopping on Verdansk tomorrow? So I wasn't going to, because I've never been a Warzone guy. I never have. But then our recurring guest Rice Man told me that he does hop on Verdansk. So it's got me intrigued a little bit.
I ain't gonna lie. I've done Warzone like once, twice. Didn't love it because I'm not really big on battle royals except for Fortnite. But just might have to, give it a little try. We'll see.
Why not? And folks, also thank you again to Johnny Burney for his super chat. Very much appreciated. And folks, before we get too far into the show, before we get to your chats, which of course a couple of you sent them before the show goes live. It's a very good bit. I'm a fan of this. We have to talk about the match I just watched in the LNG Gold Discord. The Alexa Bliss and Carmella match from NXT TV. It's currently rated at an 8.2 on Cage Match. Would I say it's an 8.2? I don't think so. But it is a good little match.
I simply just don't believe it's an 8.2 on Cage Match. I just don't.
Well, it's not. But it is funny that it's that high, you know?
Who rated it, Joe?
Well, actually, Joe brought the average down on this.
Really?
He was very, very supportive on this. And kind of wanted to get back to the meeting a little bit. And look, guys, I know we're kind of setting this up. And I know Mark's is going to be the one to join me on the team. But there's someone else backstage, back in Gorilla, who I know will be supporting me on the team, who will be joining the movement that we need to espouse tonight. 6. Welcome
aboard, 6.
Howdy, everybody. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing just great, 6. Tell the people how you're doing.
I'm doing well. I'm here looking forward to a Dynamite that we're gonna preview. And I'm looking forward to being on this panel. It's been a fun day. A new map on Call of Duty Zombies came out for the people who care, and it's what I kind of spent my day doing besides being sick. So I'm happy to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you. You were a little bit of a late addition because you were kind of, there's some game time stuff going on with you lately that I just we'll give it a second. But I'm happy to have you here after watching. You also watched the Alexa Bliss and Carmella match. Is it an 8.2?
True. It's not quite an 8.2, but it did what it had to do. And I think that's missing in modern American wrestling TV.
Yeah, I agree. There's some huge pops. Look at this, 6. There's huge pop, big pop. My God, the big 3. My goodness.
It's true.
Goodness.
Hey, the three of the people leading the charge on a beautiful hashtag I saw underneath your name there a moment ago.
This is true. Heading into Dynasty,
let's go.
We have a cause. We have a movement. And I should note that if you like this trio, you could potentially, game time decision impending, see us all on the Late Night Grin tomorrow to preview Dynasty in full. That'll be live and free over on the Late Night Grin channel, so please check that out. And now, without further ado, with all this intro out of the way, we have the big fat orange cat in here. It's great to see this at 3:40 p.m. Wonderful.
I love
Marcus.
this.
Awesome.
I've heard about the incredible work your father put into last week's WrestlePurists Dynamite review. This is true. Do you have any stories of watching sports with him that you'd like to share?
Oh,
Where do I start?
Dangerous game.
Where do I start, dude? Like, okay, I'll tell a semi-recent one. So, y'all heard my dad last week's review. Like, he was in his zone. He was going a little nuts. Floyd was kind of fucking around a little bit, but we got the win. And then the big comeback on Saturday sends to the Final Four. He was kind of on pins and needles, but I'll take it back to 2022. Jaguars Chargers. We're in the playoffs.
Oh,
we're actually at the game too, Mike.
Oh my goodness!
It's cold. It's our first home playoff game in God knows how many years. I was actually at the last one, fun fact, but down 27-0. Trevor Lawrence got 4 interceptions. Like, he's like 4 beers deep at this point.
Awesome.
He's locked in. He is just like sitting there with his hands over his eyes, like crashing all the way out. Like, fuck this, fuck the team, oh, fuck life. Like, I'll jump off the fucking bridge tonight if I have to. Like, yada yada. And then something funny happened on the way to his trek to the Main Street Bridge that night. We started throwing touchdowns. And then Trevor Lawrence threw another one. And then a bomb down the left side to Zay Jones, wide open for another touchdown.
Wow.
Then a missed field goal by the Chargers. Then another touchdown. Then the ATM 4th down conversion. And then the game-winning field goal. 27-0 comeback in the playoffs.
Glory.
His shirt's all the way off. He's whipping it around like fucking Peter Pablo. We're going nuts. Everyone just leaves the stadium. There's a giant celebration all the way out in the tailgate area. People are going crazy. It's mosh pits everywhere. My dad's like 50-plus years old. Ain't done a dance move since 1986 when the niggas was doing the George Jefferson. He was going nuts. He was Kodak Bob. He was doing everything, brother. He was an animal that night. I ain't never seen him that happy ever. He's a nice gentleman, good dude. When it comes to sports, do not talk to him. Do not say it's going to be okay. Let him crash in peace. And quite frankly, I've learned in my life, I'm a pretty mellow guy when I watch sports. Not as much these days, but crash with him. It makes it more fun.
Yeah, you got to really lock in and get engaged like that. That's how you're supposed to watch sports. Live and die by the team. It's not that healthy, but it's fun. So it's
fun. Lord knows with the Jaguars, we have been dying since God knows how since I was a child.
Yeah. Tough scenes, Tough scenes. I was there in 2015. I died by my team that night.
Sorry to hear that.
Another one from Big Fat Orange Cat. Also, Marcus, at what point in time were you most proud to be a professional wrestling fan and why? Look, these have been some incredible questions from Cat over the last couple of weeks. These are fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Shoot. I'd probably say 2020, 2021 AEW. I know it's a cliche answer, but, being from Jacksonville and then all of a sudden a giant alternative, first time in like 20-plus years that one's been around, is located in your hometown. Pandemic shuts everything down. They're over like 20 minutes from my house. And when I'm allowed to, like when they let fans in, I went to pretty much every single show imaginable. I was just really proud of how they managed to just pull it together in a time like that. Because over WWE, they're just kind of doing whatever. They're just kind of trying to figure it out as they go. But they're just doing the most innovative stuff you possibly could in a TV like that, where there's like 50 people there at first. Yeah. There may be 100, 1,000 for pay-per-view. And then you open the whole thing up and it sold out instantly for Double or Nothing when people are allowed to come back finally in full. Like, the scenes that night were just amazing. I was front row. Almost tripped Don Callis on his run-in during the world title match. Fun fact.
That's crazy.
Sammy Guevara ran over Sean Spears right in front of me. Fun times.
What a time to be alive. What a time
to be alive.
Six, do you have any proud professional wrestling fan moments out there?
I kind of echo the sentiment with AEW. I've been watching the Elite for this year marks 10 years of like the first time I ever watched Kenny Omega. So like seeing them for like 4 years become like really big and then be able to like have their own like proper wrestling program, something I just remember being really proud of and seeing, as weird. Like, I'm not trying to be like parasocial or anything, but like these guys I've been watching who are, from somewhat general obscurity to enough mainstream star power to like start a wrestling promotion was a really big one for me.
That's fandom right there. You're happy to see your guys win. If I could point to any spot that I remember, because I haven't necessarily been a fan for as long as maybe Six has been or anything like that. I remember the night of the Brody Lee tribute show, and I remember the
I was
reports. Hey, you were there, but I remember the reports. It was all like the boys didn't leak this. Like this didn't get anywhere. People knew it, but they didn't say a word about it. I was like, that is wonderful. That is beautiful. And to see all these people come together to celebrate the life of one man that clearly meant a lot to all of them was very special to me. So that'd probably be the one moment where I was proud to be a fan,
Great answer.
of all. Yeah. I think those are three solid answers right there. Now there's a little bit more timely Graps in this question here. Art Irony, of course, 349. You're barely beaten this time around. Willow should pin Mox in the tag match tonight. Look, folks, we have a wonderful mixed tag match, tornado mixed tag match tonight. This is going to be a big one. It's going to be a big one, Marcus. Are you on board with Art Irony here?
John Moxley, you were taking a pounce, you were taking a babe with the powerbomb. Like, I don't care. Like, do it do a table, in the stands, in the damn concessions. You taking it either way. Marina, I tweeted something out a month or so back that Willow should do when she was getting hog-tied a little bit by Marina there. Bring a gun to work with Willow. Do the right thing. Get you a Colt 45, get through security, sneak it in the bushes outside like the olden times used to be doing, man. Do what you got to do. Take care of her, and then we taking care of Mox. We softening his ass up for Sunday night. You know how it's going to go.
That's right. And that's the one thing I think about is that damn pounce on Mox. I know, Six, you're on the same boat there. We got to see it, right? Got to see it.
Pounce out of the ring into the audience. I'm here for it.
We opening up the intergender portal. I don't care.
Yeah.
Also, Willow needs to get the most like nastiest of lickbacks against Marina, because she's been doing Willow dirty for these past few months. Willow's got to get her get back in.
She told she gonna rip her damn liver out and do her fucking mouth. Like, Willow, you gotta do something. If it was me,
Willow, bring your gun.
Bring
your gun.
Guy like me would hear something like that. I would bring weaponry. I don't know. That's just I don't know. It feels like a threat to me, bro.
Do what
I don't know.
Done. Stand your ground.
Hey, gotta stand on business, Willow. Gotta stand on business. That match is gonna be pretty sick. I'm really excited for that. It's a very unique to AEW match. It's like an only they could do something like this, I feel like.
True.
Mostly because I do feel like we're gonna get some, like, Mox is gonna get hit with that pounce. I think it's gonna happen.
But it's a good way to pay the Marina and Willow stuff off, because quite frankly, show of hands of each one of you, and also in the chat, do y'all want to see Willow versus Marina Shafir wrestling match 1-on-1? Thought so.
Yeah, I don't think I want to see any Marina Shafir.
I was about to say,
I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
Like, you are done. We're good with you holding that briefcase after this weekend, Marina. We are good on that. You doing your thing, being. Yes, you cool doing your little, aura farming, but we ain't trying to see you grab.
Yeah,
but we ain't trying to see the wrestle. We ain't trying to see all that. We know what it does. Check the cage match numbers.
Yeah.
It ain't pretty.
And look, you might have a cool submission name. Mavs fan 84 brings it up. Mother's Milk is a pretty sick name for a finisher. It is. That's great. I'm happy for you. That doesn't mean I really want to see it though. It's
like
a different thing. Art Irony then follows that up with a very, very different question. Thoughts on Kota Ibushi returning to AEW? Six, give us the live report.
Kota, I think you should keep doing your thing in the Japanese scene, King.
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
Like, respectfully, I don't need to see singles Kota Ibushi on AEW TV, and I definitely don't want Kenny Omega to be taken out of the singles competition scene.
Yeah.
For the sake of a Kota Ibushi, for a Golden Lovers tag run right now. I think we're doing more important things right now. I mean, if we can find someone to grab the tag rope with Kota and can carry the match into the extent of like doing all the big important bumping and stuff, and let Kota Ibushi just have some sparks in here and there, hot tag and stuff, then sure, maybe. But like, I don't know. I'm personally not interested in that.
Yeah,
I'm fine with it. Like, It's 2025. I love the Golden Lovers as much as the next person. I love that tag match they have with the Young Bucks in America and in Japan. I loved the reunion. I loved all of that.
Yeah.
That being said, Kota Ibushi, you are not like that anymore. You are too beat up. You refuse to actually take a damn rest. You refuse to actually get real surgery, and you're doing crystal work. Whatever the hell you doing over there? Stay in Japan, brother. Stay in Japan. It's okay. You're doing amazing in Glee. Keep it that way.
Until I hear reports that he's headed to real surgery. That's all right. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. You can keep it.
Yeah, exactly. And JMPN, of course, please organize a prayer circle where we all pray that Mountain Man isn't announced for the Owen today. It'll be telling if he's in there or not. That'll be a big sign, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think he's in.
My hashtag radars are up.
Yeah. I'm watching. I'm keeping an eye on this, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Do you want that belt or do you not, Darby? We'll find out.
That is the question.
We'll figure out the dog and Darby's fight. And Jen, once again, finally, the week has arrived. The AEW title will be taken once again to the heights where it once was. It will be rescued, and we finally get what was owed to us at Wembley last year. I love this. No, I love this message. This is just a great message, Marcus. I mean, there's a hashtag that's been floating around, and I feel like we've kind of dipped and dabbled into it, you know? A hashtag, we want Swerve.
We want Swerve.
We want Swerve. We need Swerve. We deserve Swerve. We desire Swerve with that belt once again, bro, because he's been doing so much good work. Yeah. I've loved this program so far. He's even got Moxley to cut your promos again in the lead up to this match.
Good promo last week.
It was very good. It's probably better than Swerve's, to be brutally honest. But
it was.
Yeah, no, it was. Especially the first part of Swerve's promo was a bit.
It was rocky, a mess. It was a mess. But at the end, he closed it out on a strong note. But Mox set him up real well for the note, so I'm gonna give him credit for that.
Yeah, he put the lob up off the backboard, Swerve dunked that motherfucker. So we good.
Yeah.
So it was a good segment overall, and he's just a big money main event guy. And then going into your biggest show of the year, you want nothing but your big money main event guy chasing that championship.
Yeah,
the Owens loaded with nothing but that. Swerve having the championship, you can play off so many cool stories. Like the Forbidden Door program with Ospreay last year was money. You could play off of that again if you choose to have him win it. Hangman, what's our standing got to be explained with that one. Hell, whoever else is in this tournament, you could do some stuff. Even if MJF is in here, like that's a program you've never done before.
Yeah.
So like that could be a fun little direction. Like who knows?
There's a lot of fun routes, and there's a few more questions in here, but there's going to be a lot of talk about the Owen because the brackets are going to be revealed. Davion can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it either. And JJ brings up this point on the women's side of things. Athena, Mercedes, Jamie, Chris, Billy, Rosa so far in the Owen. Who else could we see? I think we probably see Willow, right?
You definitely get Willow. Like she won the Owen 2 years ago. She was in the finals last year. She's definitely gonna be in.
Yeah, I think so. 6 of you on that same boat. Anyone else you have in mind?
Yeah. No, I mean I have Willow's what I'm thinking of. I would love to see one of the signed Joshi. Primarily would love to see Riho, but
I would love to see Riho too, but Art brings it up. I assume if there's a wild card for the women's bracket, it's Mina Shirakawa. And I can see that too.
No, I wouldn't mind that at all.
You could do Mina and Billy and have something there, maybe.
Could be a good slot for her.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. It's a good way to all it back on the television as a full-time talent.
Yeah. The Owen is just exciting, especially now with all these names dropped. And obviously this is the women's. There's so many high-profile men's names that are in the tournament too. It feels like a bigger deal than maybe it ever has in a lot of ways. It feels unpredictable, you know?
Yeah. But on the women's side, you got like on Collision. That was a fantastic episode, by the way. And a really fantastic episode for the women's division. It was like, boom, oh shit, Mercedes is in this. Boom, Athena's back on television. She's in it. Billy's on here. Okay. Stat, Thunder Rosa, cool. Who else we gonna get?
Yeah.
Oh. It's like, damn, they really took this shit seriously. They're not fucking around with this whole thing. They got all the heavy hitters in here.
It's good. That's how it should be done. And Anjen brings it up later. Absolute scenes when TK brings up the participants on a graphic instead of some big ceremony. I want to see the ceremony for something like this. You stack it up. I want to see it in the ring. Tell me about it. Have Tony get in there and list some names off or something. Do something.
We are in year 5 of this. It's coming with graphics and scalper reading names. You know it.
It is, but if only it could be a little better than that, you know?
No, yeah, like
Only.
Yeah.
I agree, Novi. It's like I get it. This is, like Marcus said, we've been doing this for 4 or 5 years now. So we know what to expect, but that being said, it's like, what really adds that extra oomph, that extra gravitas to a tournament is that degree of presentation.
Yeah.
And I think beyond just like that, I think this lineup, of the Owen deserves the kind of presentation we're talking about. I mean, we have some real main event hitters, former world champions and former champions of other belts in the company, and real, some of the more real wrestlers in this promotion. I think we should, roll out the red carpet and give them something to give the people, us, the audience, something to latch onto.
I agree.
Else, it's just cool to look at, and AEW should always be in the business of doing cool things.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And like one day we will show Tony Khan the beginning of the Dark Tournament. We will show Tony Khan any G1 opening ceremony ever. We will show him pictures from the ending of the New Japan Cup in the G1 Climax. We will show him all these things. Yeah. One of these days,
I'm gonna sit Tony down. I'm gonna sit in front of him. I'm gonna say, Tony, this is what pageantry means. I'm gonna read him out the definition, and then I'm gonna show him the G1. I'm just gonna say, watch this real quick, this opening ceremony. Then I'm just gonna say, do that. Actually, that'd be good. And hopefully we see that later this year. I don't think we're gonna see it for the Owen, but the C2, I would like to see some of that. That'd be even a bigger spot.
That a lot more than doing the opening little YouTube video at like midnight.
Yeah, the midnight uploads are hilarious.
That was crazy.
Oh my god.
And yes, the rich stat is in the Owen.
Yeah, stats in it. I don't think Julie is in it though. No. Definitely not.
I would have put Ariana in it if she wasn't injured, sadly.
Yeah, I would too. I would too. And Jen, in other news, the GOAT, the Machine Gun, Carl Anderson, is working the greatest tag team of all time to come back and restart some much needed cinematic YouTube content to save the business.
New bio.
If only the Machine Gun could be less cool, It just wouldn't be possible. It's not, I don't think it's a thing. You just can't do it. He's over there working the right people, getting what the people want. He's speaking to us, I feel like. Marcus, would you agree with that?
We will be at Talking Shop at Mania when next time you set up Machine Gun. Just let us know. Just spread the word. You're doing the Lord's work trying to get us back BTE. There's a lot of fun memories from when I first got to New Japan and Ring of Honor and things like that. When I first discovered the Young Bucks, I need it back. Like my life depends on it. Mm-hmm. And if you could do it, Machine Gun, you've done miracles on us all. You've done miracles on me especially. You've done miracles on the wrestling scene. I love you, Machine Gun. G1 Climax finalist, Machine Gun.
And don't ever forget it. Don't ever forget it.
Bright lights.
Damn straight. The
Johnny brightest, by the way.
True. Many are saying this, actually. I've heard this. Many people have told me about it. Johnny Burney. I'm confused on what Caden might have said, but I am imposing a 30% tariff on Caden Lee. This is true.
What you put tariff for? What happened?
Just general stuff. I don't know what he said about NXT. Caden, what'd you say about NXT? I see you in there. What? Tell the people what did you speak? What take did you give? You don't even know what he said.
What did he say? I think this is a little motivated in a certain way, Novi.
I don't know. But I actually have a good reason for it. I was in the Minecraft realm today. We have a Minecraft realm among some LNG folks, right? Mm-hmm. I go over to Caden's house because I'm showing the people. And he doesn't have any double chests, only single. Only single chests stacked on top of each other.
What?
No doubles. Can you believe that? That's the most terrifying thing I've ever seen in my life, I think.
What?
So we are imposing a 30% on tariff on all Caden Lee imported goods. Make sure to keep that in mind, Caden, when you're trading with the LNG universe. JA just got approved for a new apartment. Hell yeah. Was talking about this last week. Jay, was that your first one that you went and looked at last week? I remember this in the chat. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, congratulations, brother.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
No struggle with an apartment lease. That's always good. Whenever you don't have to fight that hard.
Absolutely.
Always good. We have some Jags talk. The Jags team was close to making it to the AFC CG that year.
Christian Kirk, you'll see my attorney for dropping that pass.
I don't know what any of that means.
That damn fumble at the 4-yard line.
Yeah, very sad.
And it all went to shit after that. But don't worry. Brett Balky is gone. Doug Pearson is gone. I ran him out the city myself. I packed their bags and threw them in the St. John's River personally. Liam Cohen, James Gladstone, Tony Baselli.
Gonna have these boys looking right.
Save my Trevor.
Of course, on the Jags, there's a claim about TK and Jags games. And folks, we are getting dangerously close to the season starting in the draft. And Dynamite's still good. So I'd maybe keep an eye on this, but it's still good, close to the draft. So maybe we're bucking that trend. Maybe it's happening.
All I'll say is check back during the summertime, is all I'd probably say. Because that's when Tony's mind will probably just switch over mentally, because again, yeah, mini camps going in, training camp starts in like early mid-August, preseason, then the season starts in early mid-September. Then you gotta focus on that stuff. And the pay-per-view schedule by that time of year, y'all know how it gets. It gets jumbled as all hell. This year, not quite as much, because usually it's all in the bank holiday in late August. Then you have all out like a week or two later. This year you have it in July, in like what, July 6th?
July 12th.
July 12th, yeah, early July. Then you got Forbidden Door and the original all-in date, bank holiday, late August. Then you have all out in whatever September is. And then you got Wrestle Dream October, the World's End December, anniversary show on Dynamite, maybe a Blood and Guts in there somewhere in between, potentially. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, like we'll see what happens, but it's not as bad as it usually is.
The schedule's a little better. All in being a little earlier is a really good thing.
Yeah.
It's a very, very good thing. Just in general. And the fact that it's starting earlier on that day too, very good thing. Very good
saying,
thing.
when we think about, we got a whole all-in week, we got an early time slot for the show.
Yes.
Hey, you know what I think, Marcus?
What we thinking?
I'll be heading to that convention center on Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
I'll be headed to Death Before Dishonor on that Friday. I'll be headed to All In at 3 or 2 Central, and then I'll be hitting the bars after the show.
Let's
go. And it'll be locked and loaded. We'll be going
in. This is your WrestleMania week, type of week. AEW, treat it like it. Good job. Like, have a whole week dedicated to this. Have Dynamite, have a live Dynamite, live Collision. You got Death Before Dishonor. You got Starcast the day before. Then you got an early start to the show itself on Saturday. Like, we live in.
It's just a great decision. It helps everybody. And it adds just that little bit more pomp and circumstance to the big show too, doesn't it? All these shows happening beforehand.
Absolutely.
That's Mania weekend. It's a thing for a reason. You know?
Man, some of y'all indies that still have a soul, lock in.
Hey,
a little Fantastica Mania tour. I wouldn't mind that.
Oh,
what we thinking?
Hold on.
Hold up.
See, I also would think about going to Collision, but I think the prices are going to be crazy, and I'll also be flying in on that Thursday, so I'm a little scared about how my body will hold up. So we'll see. Maybe if I'll get some outside the stadium tickets. Anyone selling them out there? Maybe you'll see me stroll by asking for them.
Big walk up Novi.
Yeah, I'll hit the walk ups. No worries.
As will pretty much everybody at that point. That's just how AEW ticket sales go.
Awesome.
Here's a two-parter here, folks. Caden Lee, Novi, why do you hate the Young Bucks? And this is a follow-up question. JJ, is Caden Lee still banned for the program? Yes. And his previous question just added to that. So just that's why it was two-parter, because I was adding more time to his sentence. But yeah, that's happened now. That's happened.
We're just arbitrarily adding time on? Like, what are we doing? What are you, the justice system?
Hey, we have to charge this criminal, Caden Lee. We have to charge him. Collision is an hour from the Arlington Stadium. Well, I don't know. Actually, it depends on how. It depends on how far it is away from the place I'm staying. That would be the bigger decision to make. But we'll see. We'll see. This is another thing we may see about Art Irony. FTR breakup in 2025. Who could possibly even care one iota? Well, I have your answer, but it's not because they're breaking up. It's because they're going heel.
Honestly, I don't think they're breaking up at all. They're definitely turning heel.
They're just this is the heel shit, bro. Dax is gonna convince them to be a bad guy. That's all they're doing. That's all they're doing.
That's why they're doing this. They did the Dax and Wheeler Yuta match on Collision. They're juxtaposing it with Cope and Claudio tonight. It's just simple one-on-one stuff.
Yeah, I would agree.
Dax and Wheeler had a match, you know.
Hey,
pretty solid, I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, they were.
We could give him a 10-day contract to Novi FC. I think we can bring him back. We can bring him back on a 10-day.
Are you G League affiliated?
Yeah, he can go back on the G League team. No worries. He'll get back.
Did you bring him up his hair? Russell Westbrook from last night?
Hey, come on now. If he cuts his hair, he's back on the main squad. For now, he can be in the G League team. Wheeler Yuta.
That's crazy.
Welcome back. Welcome back. This is a very broad question, but a question we need to answer. Thoughts on the possible outcomes for the Owen? You guys know, if you've watched my channel, what I feel. So I'm gonna hand this over to Six first, because Six, you felt like you were about to cook something up.
So I think that there are a lot of I think that there are a lot of very strong possible outcomes. I think in terms of, I'll start with what I think is more obvious and being on the men's side of things, which is I think almost anyone who's announced their ticket winning would build a great story against Swerve, which is another point for me when I'm thinking Swerve is leaving on with the belt come Sunday. But I mean, like, it's like what was being said earlier. We can build up a really strong story from the stuff they did with Ospreay. Swerve and MJF teased something at the end of MJF's title reign during that one, I believe it was a Dynamite, where MJF was getting face to face with a bunch of different world championship contending stars, and then the obvious choice of Hangman Adam Page continuing his series of matches and his rivalry, his feud with Swerve. Finally doing the correct main event for AEW All In. Just took a year, but we got there eventually. And that's, so for me, I think of the possible Owen outcomes, I think Hangman is the most desirable. And honestly, even if Swerve doesn't walk out, I think Hangman getting his big championship win in a stadium, the first US like big stadium show, is deserving. I think Hangman Adam Page has earned that. I think with Will Ospreay, I think he should get his world title win in next year's All In, whether that's his first or his second world title reign, I don't know. But I do think if we were to put a title on Ospreay at an All In, I would do it next year. I'm not saying it has to be his first world title win. I think he can win the world title before then, drop it, and then pick it back up.
Yeah, but then you're kind of bouncing around a little much. And I do kind of want him to be champion before the world ends. Like, the world ends, it's before the year ends. So, but I do understand what you're saying, and we'll talk about the women's stuff after. Marcus, I want to hear yours on the men's. Who's your prediction?
For me, it's either Ospreay or Hangman. Like, I don't really think it's anyone else but those two. And so if Swerve does win Sunday, I do think it will be Hangman. If he doesn't, I think it'll be Ospreay. So I think it will depend there. You could tell a very easy story with Hangman and Mox as they've interacted in the past. They had that great Texas Death match. Like, Hangman completing the turn full circle and actually being the one to save AEW and be the main character again would be a great story that you could tell. Because you got plenty of time from now to like Double or Nothing, and then the month following, you could do it. It's doable. Ospreay, I think, could also be the one that, if it is Mox, he could be the one that picks the mantle up and actually becomes, quote unquote, the feeling he was saying since he stepped foot in AEW. But I'd really much rather see personally, Hangman and Swerve picked that story back up because all the personal shit's out the way now. Well, out the way in the sense that that's where the last chapter of the rivalry ended. So write the new chapter of this time, the championship is on the line, which was the whole objective of Hangman the entire time. He would say he'd rather die than see him win it. Won it anyway the minute he left. Tapped out intentionally just to make sure he didn't win it at Revolution last year. And now you finally got your chance to wrestle him for that championship at the biggest show of the year.
Yeah.
What are you prepared to do about it, Hangman?
Hey.
What are you prepared to do about it?
Hey, I'm totally with you on this. I think anyone who's been watching the videos, anyone who's watching his streams, know I'm completely with Marcus on this. I feel the exact same way, like to a T. If Mox wins, I think it should be Ospreay. If Swerve is the one who walks out with the title, I think it should be Hangman. I would do Swerve and Hangman just like you would. I think it's the best route to take. And yes, I've seen the chat about the final of the Owen. I'm fully bought in. I think it's going to be an Ospreay Hangman final. I think they're going to play on this. They're going to sell the people with it. I think that's what we get in the finals of that. I've been saying that for a minute.
You'll get Ospreay and MJF Part 3 naturally.
Naturally, of course. What other route could we take?
It would be funny. I ain't gonna lie. That would be hilarious.
Hey, not to say MJF wouldn't have earned a little something like that though. It would be if it wasn't Hangman getting fucked over. Not to say MJF wouldn't have cooked something up. But I would definitely go with the Hangman Ospreay final. But on the women's side, I think the finals are also that one's more up in the air, right?
Yeah, because there are enough like big time competitors in there where it's like, okay, I very easily could see them winning that Owen. I very easily could see this happening, that happening. There's even like some finals in my mind I think could potentially happen there that I would be absolutely locked in for. That would make a ton of sense.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think no matter what outcome, I feel like you got to get Athena in the finals. And I do think
you should do that.
And it depends on a lot of other factors. It definitely depends on Tony and Megan. But I would consider her winning it. I think Chris, if she's in it, or no, she's already in it. If Willow's in it, is what I mean to say, then I think you have to consider those two names. So those are the three I'm looking at for the win is Athena, Chris Stat, and Willow. It just kind of depends on the other factors at play. I think Athena wins. It's Texas. It's hometown. I don't know what belt she goes after necessarily. I have a feeling it's going to be Mercedes if she's still holding the TBS. But yeah, I think I'd go with Athena coming out of the Owen.
That's the elephant in the room there. Also with the women's side tournament.
Yeah.
Mercedes and Athena are both in it. Do you run the match in the tournament, and that's how you get around them doing the first match, not for a title? And that's how you get to the match at All In.
Yeah,
it's funny you say that too, because Six, we've talked about it a couple times, and you've had an outline for how this feud should go, and you think it should be a trilogy. From what I
absolutely think it should be a trilogy, is what I've been saying for weeks. See, now this was obviously before the Owen came into things, before they both announced for the Owen, but I think I could still work. So my initial idea is we do a match at Dynasty for the TBS title was my initial pitch. And then a special TV and then build to All In. Now, obviously, things are complicated by the fact that they're both in the Owen, and I don't know when the Owen is supposed to start. I don't know if Tony Khan is gonna want to put wrestlers who are in the Owen wrestling against one another before the Owen happens in terms of like a singles match. But I still think a trilogy can happen. I got to say one thing real quick, though, on the note of the women. I think one thing that's also, as much as I do think it's a home run to have Athena win the finals in hometown, I think there is also, I still think a big portion of it is, despite the fact that she is the TBS champion, Mercedes, I think, is still someone to consider because of if Tony Storm retains, Tony Storm for the Mercedes for all the belts, for the two women's titles in AEW, the first person to hold both at the same time, that can be a really, really big deal. Because Tony Storm versus Mercedes is probably their biggest money match they can do from like the two biggest stars in their women's division. So like that's just something I'm considering. Again, I don't think Mercedes wins, but I'm not like counting her out. I think I have her up there with Athena, with Willow, with Stat as people who I think are likely to win of the field. That being said, I would like to see I would like to see Athena win.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see Athena win
hear
I
that.
think she gets to the finals at least. At minimum, she gets to the final.
Yeah.
That can also be really good.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you bring in some great points, and I scrolled down a little bit. There are some questions and stuff I starred just so I didn't forget them, but I did want to point some stuff out because there's a lot of people commenting on who they should win the Owen on the men and women's side. But Andrew does bring up this kind of question: if Swerve were to win the title, who would be his challengers from now until All In? Obviously, you have Double or Nothing on deck. Who would you do for that, Marcus? If you have Swerve win?
I would wrestle Kyle Fletcher Double or Nothing possibly.
Oh baby, oh baby.
Oh.
That sounds sweet. That sounds sweet.
Yeah, it's a callback to Swerve. His first match as champion was against Kyle Fletcher on the
Kyle
Dynamite
Fletcher.
last year.
Yeah.
Got some history. Got some history there, backing you up. That sounds great. Six. Anyone else that comes to mind? That's now the one I'm gonna lock in on from now on.
So like Kyle Fletcher was who I was thinking.
Really? Oh shit! Great minds. Great minds.
Let's go.
I think you could also argue for Takeshita as well, either member of the Don Callis family. But you know, Fletch got that win against Big Brody King, and I think that's building. That is something that's like that. Like his team. The reason we're keeping him so strong on the TV is so that we can build to a major title match.
Yeah, and if
he's in the like I think he might be, it's depending on how he performs there and the wins he picks up in it. Yeah, you can set him up easy.
Hey, a guy like me, I would prefer the Fletcher match over the Takeshita one. I think it'd be better.
Yeah, it'd be better structured. It'd be a better fit for both of them at this stage of the.
Yeah. I think some people might consider that a hot take, which is why I framed it as a hot take. But all of us are in agreement, so now I look silly.
No, yeah,
now it's over.
No. I get what you're saying. I think, and to the extent that like I understand why you're framing it like a hot take, and I think you could argue that it is right. I agree with you. I just think Fletcher's current like heel character and heel wrestling style is more befitting of a world title match against Swerve.
Yeah. I agree.
Now you could also put him against someone who's a bit more tweener. If I know that we've talked about like Swerve Hangman as it is now would be like babyface, but it doesn't have to be like that. Come All In,
That's what I've been saying. It doesn't have to be babyface. I think one of them can lean a little bit. I think you guys know who I'm talking about here.
Plus, it's very much a personal issues rivalry anyway. So just let it roll and see how the fans react to it, regardless.
Yeah, I would go the route of Swerve being the one to get obsessed this time and lose his mind. That's the route I would go.
Yeah, because the interaction they had, I want to say last week backstage, it was only 30 seconds, but Swerve
was Swerve.
That was Swerve.
Hangman didn't say shit about him, bro. That's what it was.
Swerve just sitting there. Hangman was like, "Okay, bro, you heard what I said." And Swerve's going nuts, like, "Don't you get in my fucking business?" Yada yada yada. He's losing his mind. Now I gotta hold him back.
Yeah,
we getting a little role reversal here, brother.
We're setting things up, I think.
You guys, when Hangman and Swerve, when Swerve brings up that Hangman went to Swerve's dressing room, went to his locker room. I mean, a few weeks ago. I was like maybe a few months ago.
Pay it off.
Yeah, there's a through line. It's here. It's building. You just got to be paying attention. You got to watch the programming, as they say.
Breadcrumbs.
Oh.
6.
Yeah, no. So what I was going to say is like, just another ringer for why Hangman Swerve should be the AEW All-In main event for the world's title. Is that Hangman and Swerve? I don't think there's a single feud rivalry like series of people in this company that is like the world title is what it's all about at the end of the day. And like obviously it's personal, but it started with the world title, and that's where it's going to end. Yeah. And that's where like the strongest story beats have come from, like both of them wanting to either win the world title or prevent the other from winning the world title.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Issues forced because time's on the line. One of y'all got it. Big show of the year. What's going to happen?
Yeah. I hear that. We have
end record for 30 seconds.
And you feel those emotions, It's just a different kind of rivalry.
Like, oh shit. Oh, yeah. They finally interacted again. Like, what's gonna happen? You get time on the line, everything like that. So that's your story right there. Yeah. That's your main event right there.
Yeah.
Just roll the ball.
I agree. We're gonna go through these takes. We're gonna list them off. We're gonna quick reactions to them just as they come. Perk, it's a Will Hangman final. Thumbs
I
up.
expect that, yeah.
True.
It is dangerous holding off that Osprey reign too long. You can't miss a moment to crown someone and never get that momentum back. I think it is a
True.
dangerous game
I
that
do
they've
get that,
played.
Yeah, I mean,
6.
no, what I was saying is like when I said that Osprey should win at next year's All In, I was also said it with the caveat he should win it before then as well. The world
That's why
title.
you're preventing this. You're thinking ahead on that front.
It ain't the
Yeah.
only London show they got in the next calendar year.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind also.
Good point.
True.
Good point.
True.
JA, I just don't see anyone but Will winning the Owen. That's why I don't want Swerve to win it All In. They shouldn't delay Will's title win past All In. I get that. I don't think it's crazy, especially with how hot Will is. So I hear it. Perk
It's a
your
good
eyes
problem
also
to have.
with Will. It is a good problem to have because no matter what you go with, Hangman or Will, I think it's pretty obvious one of them is going to win at All In. It's going to beat whoever is the champion. So I feel like you're not really stuck anywhere. You know you're going to end up well down the line. We have Jamie versus Willow is a final prediction here from
I
Lambo.
think Stat Willow is a very underrated possible final.
I think so too. I
agree.
Too. MJF made that promise to block Osprey from becoming champion. Never forget. Hey. Sowing the seeds.
Something to think about.
MJF Swerve, Will Hangman Moxley. I think this is a run stretch here. This is like how we're gonna get it. What do you think? I'm confused on this one.
Yeah. Is this like your order the next couple champions or something? Because a 5-time champion Moxley is kind of wild.
Specify, KK. Specify.
Yeah. I can't. I'm not reading what's being like. I can't.
But I want to read it. I want to know. I want to know what you're saying to me.
Yeah, I really need some clarification.
Andrew, I've got Jamie winning. Feel like that's why they were taking Jamie's return slowly.
Well,
there's maybe some other factors at play. It's an ouchie back, it's a tough injury to come back from.
Visa problems happen in the middle of that too. That kind of
I was gonna say I think the visa issues is probably the biggest part of it.
Yeah.
But depends if Tony retains though, because I think she does actually.
We have that question in the can. We'll get to it in a moment. Mavs fan, I think Jamie's gonna win and face off against Tony. Jamie gonna go heel too.
It's kind of similar to Hangman and Swerve in the sense that it's a personal issues driven thing because Tony did like knock her out of action for a year in kayfabe. And she finally got back to the mountaintop. Jamie did, and you have a chance to wrestle her at the biggest show of the year for the championship that she had a chance to compete for the first time since like 2023.
Yeah,
so that's something you can look out for possibly.
There's plenty there. And KK specifies that was the top 5 wrestlers in AEW because that was a question that was asked. My brain just did not process it at all.
Say my fault.
That's not a bad list though. Not a bad list at all.
I thought that, yeah.
Yeah, Dare Rich, Tony Storm, and Athena would be a great match. That's very true. That's very true. Art Irony suggests that Bane wins at Dynasty in a shock upset, then Chris wins it All In. Athena's going after Mercedes. Yeah, I think that if that's going to happen the way you predicted, I think that's how it's going to go.
Hey, you could tell a story with Athena beating Mercedes in the Owen, losing the Owen. Going for Mercedes, you can tell that story.
Speaking of from someone who's going to the show, I wonder if there's any ulterior motives. I wonder. I start to question.
Possibly, potentially.
Stat Mercedes final. Stat finally beats her.
That's a good shout.
Would definitely be behind that. Athena beats Mercedes round 2, but Mercedes does something to cost her in the finals. So that seems like it. So we do the finals here, and then we do a round 2, and then okay. Then Perks your eyes says Athena's not winning that one.
No. I think she gets to the finals at absolute minimum, though, if she does.
Yeah.
Mercedes, if they do have that match. We'll see how the bracket shakes out, but I do think she gets to the final.
Yeah. And we have some takes here, too, about who could wrestle Swerve if he comes out the champion. We have Samoa Joe or something. That's always a fair answer.
Always up for that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's go here. Another Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's always in mind for that kind of stuff. Takeshita's Swerve TV match did roll. That's true. MJF Swerve.
Yeah,
don't hate that.
Right there. That's big time.
I don't hate that at all. Let's see here. All right, we're going to the start, and we're gonna move. We're gonna move, but we're gonna start from the top. Who do you think is winning at Dynasty, Megan or Tony? I have Tony.
I have Tony too.
Yeah, I think ultimately I'm with Tony.
Wow, no contention here, Marcus. You were very contentious on the Dynamite review not that long ago about on this subject.
I don't know. It's like the longer that they've done this, and like Tony's basically just beginning hogtied his entire feud. My wrestling brain they usually dictates the champ retains. Plus, you're going into your biggest show, and Tony is your biggest star in the entire division, and like one of your biggest stars in the entire company, bar none. So, business wise, I believe they probably think there's a lot more juice to squeeze out of a babyface Tony title run.
Yeah,
all the way up to All In. So I understand that absolutely.
that was my
Bane
take on
winning
it
will
from
be
the
good,
jump.
though. Yeah.
That was there's just more to do with Tony. Like,
That's
and if they do go with Bane, I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be upset at it or anything. I think it'll be very bold, and I'll get behind that.
Every time she comes out, bro, Tony's a fucking megastar. No matter how you slice it, no matter how much you feel about this character, she's a fucking star. She's in main event angles, has main event matches on TV, show opening promos, live promos every week doing something, and she gets the biggest reactions of anyone, damn near.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is what it is. She's one of your horses. Put the saddle on it for a little bit longer.
That's what I was saying. Six, you were saying.
No, yeah. I mean, I was on the train of like, I think you can make a really cool moment with Megan Bane that like with her winning right out the gate like that is just like, that's a kind of lightning in a bottle thing. But at the same time, I just think as time has gone on, seeing the feuds progress and also thinking just from like a business side of things, there's, like you said, there's a lot more juice to squeeze out of this orange right now. And I just don't think Toni Storm needs to drop the title right now when she's, so I don't know if it's surprising anyone or not, but like she's bigger than she's ever been. Like I thought that we'd seen the peak of the timeless Tony gimmick. I didn't think like, I mean, I obviously thought like we were going to get good crowd reactions and stuff, but like this is the biggest this character has felt. And I just don't see any reason to, like you said, to pull the horse now. Like it's doing well. It's doing good business. Then let's keep with it.
So my thing with Tony was always like, even when the stuff was happening in its infancy and it started progressing a little bit, actually won the belt. My first thought was always, it's this character for me all the time. Not always. But the other biggest thing was, I always said this is going to be one of the biggest babyface gimmicks in the last like couple of years, if they actually commit to it. And then now they are. And you're seeing the fruit that labor bearing fruit right now. Like she's getting giant reactions. I was there at Collision when she did the timeless reveal against Mariah. Like that crowd was deafening.
Yeah.
When she picked that microphone up, bro. And now she's champ again, and you got more time. You're going into All In. Just ride the wave.
Yeah, it's just a different thing. Like, all love to Megan Bane. I think she has a very bright future in AEW. But there's just a different level because I've been listening, bro, and you given her time and it's getting better. But I think it's too early to push Megan Bane too hard. I think you have Tony barely squeak out the win. And I think you have Megan continue to be a dominant force in the women's division. She should hold the title at some point. Absolutely, I think. Yeah, I think she's at that level.
This is a very good test run.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is a moment. This is a moment. We can ride the Tony wave, and then we'll see what Megan looks like down the line. I think you just go with it.
Yeah, there's plenty more stuff to flesh out with Megan too, character wise, anyway. So
give
her a nice little rub here. Have her a nice showing at the pay per view. And then you keep, progressing with it from there.
Yeah, I think give her someone else to run with. Make it a little 3-man squad. Other Penelope and someone else. I think maybe have some matching gear going on.
That'd be fire.
I'd be down for
that.
that.
I do like Penelope Ford being involved in this because she's gotten a lot better since she's first started in this company. She didn't allow herself to get buried in the avalanche of people just leveling up and new talents coming in. Like she just kind of put her nose down, and she dealt with some real like personal shit.
Yeah,
she came back. She's better than ever. Like really happy for her.
Yeah, it's really, she's in a really great spot.
I was going to say something very similar to you, Marcus, where it's like in a time where the women's division in AEW has like steadily improved, she chose to, put her money where her mouth is and really step up and try to improve alongside the improvement of the division, which I have to give her tens for.
Yeah. Davion Washington, y'all do a great job with your analysis on professional wrestling. Keep up the good work. This is just a great comment. Just wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you
Very
so
much
much.
appreciated. Very much appreciated. We're giving a lot of analysis tonight. Tonight is a big analysis episode of the pre-show. Normally we're a little more silly, but we're here to do business today. We're here to answer your questions on who should win things.
You're trying to draw money in the territory tonight, baby.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we get paid the big bucks for.
Hey, we strapped the boots up tight tonight. That's how it works sometimes. I very much appreciate it, Davian. Mavs fan, Mox is still an S tier promo when he wants to be. When he has some content, sink his teeth into. It's pretty good.
Yeah, well, he's not speaking the rails like he did last week. He's very, very strong. And last week's promo was really good. It sold the match for me.
Yeah.
Like, it's more of that, Mox. Like he's slowly but surely on that side of stuff, waking up from the slumber of the last 5 months. So thank God. If this happens to him, if he's locking in before he drops the belt, then fuck it.
Yeah.
More power to you.
I'm happy I'm glad he did it. That's all. That's all there is to say. I hope he does something good tonight in a match. I start to see versions of Mox I maybe haven't seen in a while, See some funker in him. I'd be down for that. No problems there.
So hopefully someone locked him in the 89 funk tapes. Please.
Yeah. We can only hope. Anwar asked a good question that I starred even because I thought maybe wild card. Mariah May? Wild card?
I can see her being in it for being the last year's winner. I don't know if that's where I would put her right now. I think I would keep Mariah off TV for a little bit. Just to sell the loss more. I imagine she's getting re-signed regardless, but
I'd imagine.
I would have her. I don't think I'd put her in it. If she's in it, I'll be happy with it. But I don't think that she needs to be in the one.
Yeah, I agree. Marcus, you feel about the same on that one?
Yeah, about the same. The contract stuff's up in the air. I do think she will be back.
Yeah,
just don't know when. I don't know if it's gonna be in time for the Owen. So we'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, we'll keep track of this one, just like the other couple things we're keeping track of at the moment. This is just one of those things. Got our eyes locked in. Another thing we're locked in on, Mavs fan, Sour Boy's coming back. Doesn't get any better. Made a big mistake. Does it get any better? I don't know. I don't think so. JA brings it back to the apartment. First one, and you've got secured. That's fucking incredible.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
This is no better feeling, and I'm speaking from experience. No better feeling. It's incredible.
Bro, that apartment shit ain't no junk special in this damn economy, brother. So ain't chance you have to, just lock in, get that down payment in, that deposit and all that stuff.
Your
have
first
piece of mind. Yeah.
It's wonderful.
More the merrier. Congratulations to you, bro.
Yeah, congrats, brother. 3 stacks. If we get Hangman versus Swerve for the strap at All In, what would you have Ospreay do at All In and Forbidden Door? But we'll focus on All In because Forbidden Door, I think he needs to have a match we've all been looking out for. With the CMLL talent, if it were up to me. What do you think Swerve does or Ospreay? What do you think he does at All In if not in the title match? Marcus.
I genuinely have no earthly idea. So I'm looking at the roster. What does he do with anyone who's actively signed right now that he hasn't done yet?
It's really tough. He's worked with a lot of the people already, like a lot of the main people you'd point to,
Yeah, if the catch is still there, I might run that match back.
Yeah,
that's true. That'd be a big time match.
Or just give him a really crazy showcase match, because why not?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed to giving him a showcase match. Something similar to him versus Jericho from the first All In, but versus someone who isn't Jericho.
If it isn't AJ, and if the contract stuff doesn't work out with that, I have an interesting one in mind. You're in Texas, luchador presence.
Mm-hmm.
There's one on the roster that I would really love to have in a huge spot.
Are we thinking the same thing, Marcus?
Bandido!
Oh, baby.
I wasn't even thinking. And it could be for the ROH title.
Why not?
The ROH World title,
Why not?
Granted, why wouldn't they run that at Death Before Dishonor? Actually,
yeah, it's true. It is
right
before. Actually,
my idea for a fun showcase was, Ospreay versus Hologram.
That'd be fire.
I think Hologram's big spot was in Texas last year.
Mm.
Come full circle. He debuted and got crazy over during the Arlington residency. Have him have a cool match at All In at the big stadium in Arlington will be a really full circle moment. Personally, I have plans for him and Commander with a certain team that likes to hurt people for the tag team championship.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, I think that's what has to be done actually.
There's a lot of moving pieces. Andrew, Stadium Stampede? I don't think so. I don't think it's not his match. Not his match.
A gauntlet or a Stampede's like fine, but like let's cool with the multi-mans at the show. Just go crazy on TV. Give me some 4 1/4 on TV, and then talk to me about getting on the card if you're not factoring in yet, brother.
Yeah. I agree. Guy like me, Bandito, Osprey, Michael Bailey.
That's a cool one.
That is a good one. That is a good one.
That is a very good one. Mystico at Forbidden Door. This is for the Forbidden Door side of the question. I don't think that's the luchador I have in mind. I think there's a much more spectacular luchador that I have in mind.
I think myself at the Rada personally.
That's who I'm cooking up. See, that's what I'm saying. That's who I'm cooking up. We're thinking about it. We're thinking. I think that's the route you take. And if you want to do it, you could do Mystico at All In. I wouldn't mind that. Wouldn't mind that at all.
Ujama.
Yep. Mystico. Calm down, brother.
Brother.
We're not
Mystico.
Hey, we're not in arena. We're not in the arena, son. It's okay. It's okay. No worries.
And we're doing it for his mask. I'm afraid.
Whoa.
We're taking his mask.
He's definitely gonna like shoot his own angle one day, just propose it because like, he does it every single time he's not going to CMLL.
Yeah.
He's the funniest wrestler on the planet. I love this guy.
He's such a beast.
Very sick. The Ricochet singles match for Osprey.
Oh my God, defend the result.
Wouldn't hate that either. There's a lot to do with Will. I think a showcase singles match. If not, me personally, I'm begging for the stars to align. I'm begging for Big AJ, Big Uncle Allen to do his thing, but it just depends on how that works out. And I don't think anyone really knows. So we'll have to find out. Wait and see. But I think there's plenty of good options we just listed out there. Perk Shirai. All In starts at noon my time. My goodness. Awesome. The day drinking is going to be crazy. I'll be passed out before Will wins the big one over Mox.
Jesus Christ.
That's incredible.
Hey, I'm tapped in for that. Shout out my West Coast gang.
Y'all are going to be eating good. Very good.
Unusual.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up, honestly. It's kind of
a little bit.
Yeah.
Even the Brits are eating good because it's just starting early.
Yeah, Brits are eating real good for that, to be honest with you, because it's going to start at 8 their time. That's like perfect.
Must be nice.
Perfect.
See, it makes me sad. It makes me sad because I don't think that British people deserve nice things.
Oh, they don't. Don't get me wrong. They really don't.
Yeah, but then there's Joe Holbert, and he pays us all pretty well.
Joe Holbert's not British, so there's that.
No, like that's literally.
Good point. That's a good point.
He's American made. You know what I'm saying?
I've said that. American made Joe Holbert. I've said that.
Born there. He was born there, but he moved as a little baby over to the United States of America. Like, we don't claim that English breakfast. We eating waffles. We eating goddamn French toast. We eating pancakes. We eating good. We ain't eating none of those beans. No. We ain't eating spotted dick. We ain't eating pudding. We ain't eating none of that.
Absolutely not. There's just no way. There's no way. And Joe isn't eating it either. We're protecting him. Mavs fan 84 then asks the first of 2 top 5 questions. Who are your top 5 wrestlers in AEW right now? I think this one's a tough question, but I think you have to say Osprey. I think you have
Osprey,
to say Swerve.
Mercedes, Kenny. I got Mercedes, Kenny. Osprey, Mercedes, Kenny, Swerve, Willow.
Yeah. That but I would say I would have Heyman on there.
I would have Heyman. I would say
it's hard.
Osprey, Swerve, Mercedes, Hangman, and who's the 5th? Who's number 5?
That is up there for me.
She's up there for me, but I don't think it's top 5. I think it's a tad different.
In terms of performance and what they're doing on TV, Fletcher is like getting close.
Fletcher,
Mark
Ricochet,
Briscoe.
Briscoe's always there.
Oh my goodness, Mark Briscoe.
That the five spot is where things get tough.
This match is ridiculous.
It's unfair. It truly is. And they're finally like, I'm seeing use of it up and down, so it makes it even harder. Let me scroll through here. If you want to put Kenny at the 5, I wouldn't hate that at all. Like not I think that's a great pick. I'm scrolling down here. Ed King, haven't seen him for a minute, but could see that happening. Could see
you in the
it.
summertime, brother.
Yeah. Takeshita, I know a lot of people would say that. I wouldn't mind if anyone were to put him there. I wouldn't, but I wouldn't mind at all. I wouldn't be mad if anyone put Speedball up there. I know it's just started. I wouldn't mind that either. It's a little tough for a top 5.
He's getting over quick though. I will say that.
Yeah, Ricochet, Samoa Joe. You have to think about him too. Sam Joe's in there all the time.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Those are a couple. The 5 spot is where you can get playful with it, but I think there's 4 names that you could definitely stamp. I think
Bandito's in the mix. I think just because of how over he is everywhere he goes, and just how much of a good performer he is.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm locking it down. I'm locking my list down. I'm locking down Ospreay, Swerve, Hangman, Mercedes, and Kenny, by God, Omega. That's my top 5.
Right. That's about
That's
right.
such a yeah, no. I mean, I hear that and I don't know who I would I want to get Willow in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I don't know who I'm bumping out, who I would bump out. You know, I'm not bumping out Kenny. I'm not bumping out but Kenny Mercedes is non-negotiable. Hangman's not getting bumped.
Well,
I don't want to bump Ospreay
here's
or
why
Swerve.
I put Kenny in there. I put Kenny in there because you brings up good points like 21 Braun. He's just still got it. He's just still greatness. It's King Kenny.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
Yeah, might not have to bounce like he used to, but he's still putting up 25 any night.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about top 5 wrestlers in AEW, right? Does it only include the AEW matches they've had this year? Because if it only includes those, right, that's one thing. But if it's including things outside of it,
just as a wrestler.
No, yeah, then there's like Kenny is absolutely just in that list. No one's touching him. I mean, even if like seeing what he's done in AEW, his match against Takeshita was amazing. But even his match at Wrestle Dynasty with Gabe Kidd, one of the best matches of the year so far. So like Kenny's got to be on the list.
That's Kenny. Great match.
That's Grand Slam Australia. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can't not put Kenny.
Solid Mercedes, you can't. She's like in a giant, like crazy groove right now, just in AEW alone, and her New Japan stuff. Like the Hazuki match was spectacular.
That was an incredible match. That match is so good, and both the Chris matches. I think Mercedes is a lock. You have to have her on there.
Yeah, you got to.
So I think that's a solid top 5 list there. Marcus, you want to finalize this list? I see it rattling around in your head still.
Okay, Kenny and the Mercedes are my non-negotiables. Hangman is probably the 1, 2. Swerve, yes. That 5th spot does get crucial. Kenny is probably my answer.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're talking like if as an overall act, this is AEW just period. I fucking love the Hurt Syndicate.
Just the Hurt Syndicate. That's real. That's real. I'm cool with that. That's a good list right there. That's a solid list. So I respect that. That's a very good question, Mavs fan. Appreciate it. We could roll that one around, and the other top 5 we're gonna smack in between because we have 2 super chats to get through. Johnny sends another one. Imagine economy crashes and you pay $15K for Mania. Well, guess what?
Right now, you're paying $10K.
You're already doing it. You don't have to wait. You can pay right now. It's all good.
Don't get your 20% off from random AstroTurfing WB account 84. You get 20% off. You're paying 15. You're paying 14.5K instead of 15. Knock off a cool couple $100 right there. There you go.
Yeah. You can go use the code Caden Lee. That'll knock you off a couple $100 off your WrestleMania tickets. Just so you guys are aware.
Ain't gonna pay your mortgage, but you can sit with Big John Studd and the Raptors.
That's true. That's a great point, true. Marcus.
I gotta say, in a way, like I don't think wrestling tickets should ever cost that much. But in a way, and I'm not trying to be mean. I promise. WWE fans have kind of done this to themselves. You guys kind of deserve this only to the extent that they're like constantly bragging about the huge gates, and it's like you're literally bragging about having to pay a bunch of money. By the way, like just letting you know,
it's pretty sad. Pretty sad.
Yeah, obviously, you're getting fucked out of your damn money, and you're clapping like seals every time they announce a big attendance there. Like, yes, that's TKO. bend me over and take more of my money.
No, literally.
Run my pockets more, TKO, please. I'm begging.
Yes, Daddy Emmanuel, please. Yes,
Oh.
Paul, please rattle off those attendance numbers after we ask you a question about a sex trafficking lawsuit. Please do it again.
Crazy scenes going on there, but still, we appreciate the super chat, Johnny. Very much appreciated. And of course, we have one more here. This is a top 5 list, and it's what we're going to close the show out on. If you have anything else you guys want to get in, make sure to send it in now. Make sure to like the stream if you haven't already. We have Anwar Starwin. Very much appreciated. The $5 super chat. Who are your top 5 Joshi wrestlers right now and why?
Ooh,
and we have 15 minutes till Dynamite, so we gotta.
This is a good one.
So you think about locks on this list, and I think your immediate locks are Suri, and your immediate lock is also, I'm forgetting, Mayu Iwatani. That's your 2 locks, I think.
Those are the 2. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. 2 locks. If I'm talking top 5 Joshi wrestlers right now, I'm not talking. Are we talking overall ability? Or are we talking about who's like the most entertaining? Oh god, it's such a layered question because there's so many good answers.
There's so many good wrestlers everywhere. Plus the rookies coming up now are gas too.
God, so I feel like we got to throw Sai up there. The Phoenix Queen has been doing amazing work.
A guy like me on my list, because I would have those 3 on it. A guy like me would put Azumi on there. Guy like me. But I love
she's
Azumi.
Amazing wrestler. She's an amazing wrestler. See, that's the issue. The issue it always just gets to. It's just like what are the things we're measuring top 5 off of? You know.
Well, it's just your top 5. Whatever you choose as your barometer, that's what you go off of. It doesn't have to be objective. It just has to be yours.
Okay. My barometer. Well, Natsupoi. I'm putting Natsupoi up there. Yo, that's my goat. That's my goat.
Hey. Not a bad name on there. Not a bad name. I thought about it.
Suri and Mayu are like absolutely on that list. I think for everyone's list, they're just both such amazing workers. They're genuinely the most like important wrestlers in the scene right now. I'm throwing Natsupoi on there just because I personally love watching Natsupoi wrestle. She's my favorite wrestler.
That's your girl. That's your girl.
I'm gonna throw Chi-Chi in there. I
loved
everything I have been watching of her. I bought my Chi-Chi stocks like 2 years ago, and I've been, they've been paying me dividends. So I'm like this.
Mm-hmm.
And for my number 5, this one's hard. I think Venny is who I'm putting at number 5.
Great list.
That's a great shot.
Great list. Marcus, you want to mull it over? You want me to rattle off first?
I'll go ahead and mull it. Okay, so Saya's doing great work right now. I love her to death. Mayu, I will always have her in there, no matter what she's doing. Chi-Chi, I love what she's doing right now. Get well soon, by the way, Chi-Chi.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Same to Poi, right?
Yeah.
I'd probably go either Venny or Hazuki.
Oh, Hazuki is a great call.
That's one I had in mind as well.
And
the 5 spot again is where it gets hard.
My last one, I will throw in a cool line from SpongeBob from a jellyfish hunt episode. Look, everyone, it's Kevin.
I know Art Irony just pumped his fist a couple times. Just got excited about that one.
No, big Kevin. Big Kevin, dude. Talk about new gens who are really making a great name for themselves.
Yeah.
A lot of them in the scene right now too. That's wild part.
For my big 5 list, I think you got to have Suri and Mayu on there. I think right now I've really liked what Sai is doing. I love Azumi, and I will always love Azumi. This is in no order. And then the 5 spot is where it gets hard because I'm thinking Big Hosh. I'm thinking Suzu Suzuki. I'm thinking Hazuki. I'm thinking all kinds of different names. I'm thinking Venny. I'm thinking Soriano. Those are my big names I'm thinking of. I think for me, now I gotta actually pick. I'm thinking Miyu. Give me Miyu. I like Miyu a lot. I've always enjoyed Miyu Watanabe matches. I'm going with that as my number 5. That's my list right there.
That's
Bang.
Vegas.
Which
Yeah.
which is there any like matches in particular that stood up to you recently?
I like the Mizuki match from Grand
Mm,
Princess. That was the or not Grand
mm.
Princess, but the opener. That was a very
No.
good match.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
You're just being a hater now. All right. No need to be
Me?
aggressive. No need to be aggressive on Miyu. All right.
I like Miyu.
Yeah, we all like
I don't
TJ
like
too.
I don't like TJPW, but I like Miyu.
Yeah, I'm not a TJ guy at all. To be honest, not bad.
TJ's bad.
There's an edit out there of Miyu Watanabe to Olympian by Playboy Cardi. Seek that out. It's a very good edit. I've reposted it on my timeline a couple times. It's great. We have a rise and grind Poi fans. Poi FC. JJ, I'll take that list. Top 5 off of you, Joy. Yeah, that's what I say. Tam, top 5. We have
For
SLK
sure. No,
mentioned.
real worker.
Suri. We have Suri in the mention here.
Shuri. Yeah, no, actually, Shuri, I feel like has to make her way onto my list. Actually, Shuri is, gosh, what a wrestler.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
Can't wait for her to win the IWGP.
Yo, Azumi JPEG Mafia edit. Hold on.
Oh,
I'm gonna need you to send this to my Twitter account. All right, just go ahead and send that my way. I don't know where. If you can go find that, that'd be good. I'd like to see that. Just go send that my way. That's ideal. We have a lot of love for our list here. So I think we did well, folks. I think we did well, fellas. We're having fun here. We're some good Joshi top 5s. I think some good AEW top 5s. I think ones everyone can be proud of. I think this is a show full of analysis that we can be proud of, that the people can be proud of. It's been a great time. We have a 9 minutes till Dynamite. So, Marcus, I have to ask you, is there anything you want to promote?
I do, actually. So, Saturday night, Florida Auburn, the Final Four. I will be live tweeting my dad's reactions to everything that goes on in the game. So stay tuned in for that. Marcus Davis down 4. Turn your alerts on. 6:49 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday night. Y'all know where to find me.
Hell yeah. 6-star. Your links aren't below, but I will try to remember to add them. But you should say them now because there's an ask of your socials. Tell the people where they can find you, 6.
Well, everybody can find me on occasions on the WrestlePurists YouTube channel as a part of the Gold Star Podcast. You can find me as the main. We talk everything in Joshi and Puro. We're the premier Joshi and Puro podcast in wrestling media. And beyond that, you can find me as the admin of the @Gold Star Podcast Twitter account. I don't currently have my own personal wrestling Twitter account. Maybe I'll come back to it on a more full-time basis at some point. But for now, you can find me @Gold Star Podcast. I make the majority of the tweets, roughly 95% of them. And so, yeah, if you want to hear more of my takes and hear me talk more about Joshi, you can also go listen to the Gold Star Podcast, which happens some Fridays of the year. Don't ask me when.
Hopefully some more Fridays coming up with the Joshi scene looking as good as it does, as we just highlighted. And look, folks, if you like the three of us, you'll probably enjoy us, plus Caden Lee, plus Rice Man, over on the Late Night Grin YouTube channel. We will be previewing the entire AEW Dynasty card up and down at 9 p.m. Eastern Time following the WrestlePurists Dynamite review, where you can find me and Marcus every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. It'll be a great time. That'll be live and free on Late Night Grin. No membership needed, just to tune into that one. So make sure to join us 9 p.m. EST to cover Dynasty over on the Late Night Grin. Folks, it's been a wonderful time. I appreciate you all for the super chats. I appreciate Marcus and 6 for coming on. As always, these are regulars on this channel. Regulars. This was a great time. Everyone enjoy Dynamite, and let's fucking go. Dynasty is on.